Them? No. I'm going to put as many annoying intros now on my videos as possible. Absolute fucking music that has absolutely nothing to do with it. Like stupid noises. I'm going to just sit here and read a fucking paper for 20 minutes before I get to the content. Oh, fucking, I'm not interested. Doing weird things. There's a microwave here at Aldi, $34.99 each. That's not bad, is it? 700 watt, 17 litre capacity. That's small, isn't it? There's one of them glass kettles there as well that I fancy, $19.99. Aldi though, I'm not joining them for a while. Hey, that reminds me, Crime Watch, BBC have done away with Crime Watch now. Yeah. Can visit it more often. I'll start it recording now. Alright guys, how's it going? It is Wednesday the 18th of October 2017 and you're watching KopTalk.tv. Alright. How's it going? Yeah, you alright? So, I was thinking, I was reading paper a minute ago, right? You won't know what I was up to. I was reading paper a minute ago, right? And yeah, reading the Sun, you fat fucking sun-loving cunt. You know, that's another thing I get and all. 43 years of age and I have to put up with this shit. Can you believe it? I was reading paper and there was a bit in there about Martin O'Neill, and they were talking about Martin over there because of all the World Cup thing and all that, right? And there was a guy on the radio saying, I can't believe that none of the top clubs have, you know, tried to take him to them, you know, try and recruit him, sort of thing, because he should be at the top flight manager and all this. And he was very highly rated. You know, maybe he still is. Obviously, I don't follow his country and what they're up to. You know, who he's managing now. But do you remember the time when Martin O'Neill was heavily linked with the Liverpool job? Do you remember that? I'm trying to think when it was, but he was a serious candidate. I think it was. It would have been. I don't know. Was it when Houllier got the bullet? Was it then, guys? I reckon so. I reckon it was about 2001, 2, somewhere around there. I'm not sure. I can't remember what year Houllier got the boot, by the way. I know we were very successful in 2001, but it was certainly in that early 2000s or whatever you fucking call them. And I remember actually there was it was Daily Mirror and there was a big spread on the back about Martin O'Neill being the next, you know, Liverpool manager or something like that. And he was really, really rated. You know, quite a few Liverpool fans, you know, fancied the idea of that. A lot didn't, because they didn't think he was, like, you know, trendy enough and all that. And a lot of people saying there's more to management than jumping up and down at the side of the pitch. But he's quite similar to Klopp in that respect, I guess. And really, this video is one to see. Do you remember that? Do you remember him being linked with the Liverpool job? You know, how do you think he is today as a manager? And do you think that he will return to the top? Do you think he is good enough to be, you know, a manager in the Premier League at a top club? You know, because I'd say one of the arguments that was on the radio. They were saying he maybe hasn't had the opportunity. Maybe no one's gone after him because the very you know, people try and get these foreign managers now and all like that was the suggestion. You know, like he's not trendy enough. For a top club, something like that. But that was it. It was just it got me. Like I say, I was listening to it on the wireless, and then I started thinking about, oh bloody hell, yeah, top club. I remember when he was linked with us, and it was a real. It wasn't like an outsider. It was a real chance of it possibly happening. But I can't remember what year it was, guys. So I just wonder if any of you could shed any light on it. Just something to talk about. That's all. Yeah, I was at the time. I wasn't really for that idea. I think I don't know. I felt like he didn't have enough bite in him. It was just really stupid, really, isn't it? How you can judge a manager or a potential candidate because of their body language or the way they are, you know, because he's very soft talking, you know, and all that. But I reckon he's a bastard when he's on one, don't you? But you know, when you see him like on, let's say, the BBC Football and he's a panellist or whatever, but he does come across as a very knowledgeable, you know, well-spoken gentleman, you know, but. He didn't. Maybe because of the club he was at the time, I was like, I'm not sure about this, you know. But I still can't believe that Brendan Rodgers managed Liverpool. I can't, and I think he'll go on to be a good manager somewhere, guys, if he's not already. But I felt like we were schooling him, and it was like we've sacked Dalglish, a gamble for a gamble sort of thing. Brendan Rodgers the day that he signed that contract, he must have been pinching his arm like fucking non-stop, going, "I've just really hit the big time." You know, and Roy Hodgson as well. Fucking hell, that is just. I'm not one of these people that will hate on Roy Hodgson. A lot of people call him Roy and all that, and I know it's funny and banter, and I'm the sort of person that banters about everything. You know that. I've never done the Roy thing, because I always think about kids, that have that problem at school and are bullied for it. Do you know what I mean? So maybe I'm a bit of a wuss sometimes. He tried his best and it didn't work out for him, did it? I know everyone fucking hates him, don't they? He's dreadfully boring. He reminds me of someone like Howard Wilkinson. Yeah, he led Leeds to the title, didn't he? Very football knowledgeable. But there's just certain appeal and that isn't there about managers. I guess we're all different personalities ourselves. I mean, you look at Rafa. Rafa was very successful, wasn't he? With Liverpool, I would say. And if he set loads of records and he achieved things at Liverpool under terrible circumstances. It makes me wonder, what he'd have been like under, some really, wealthy owners that gave a fuck, But Rafa was very much, people take the piss out of him, sat there, making notes and stuff like that. And then you had Brendan Rodgers that walked up and down like he felt like he was wanting everyone to look at him rather than the actual game. That picture didn't do much help, did it? You remember on that documentary where there was a big picture of himself in his house? I don't care who gave you it, you don't do that, do you? I might put some up on here just to wind my haters up, man, you know what I mean? A great big picture of me behind. It wouldn't fit in, you fat cunt. Oh, fuck off. Who else was I going to say? Then you've got Klopp, and I I don't care if we win anything or not under Klopp. Klopp's just like fucking radio rental, isn't he? He's just, mental. Radio rentals, you probably don't, you kids won't understand what radio rentals is or was. Google it. But yeah, he's radio rental, isn't he? He's mental. He's just fucking like, he's just fucking. And that celebration when his glasses came off, and he was. That's me. I love football like that, guys. That's football for me, right? That is football for me. So it's nice to see, Rafa, God bless him, when he sat doing his scribbling and that's fine. Everyone's different. But I've got to be honest, I do like that fucking crazy madman running up and down the side of a pitch. Where did Mourinho do that before he came to England? I think that might have been Old Trafford, wasn't it? When he ran the fucking down to the corner flag or something in his long jacket. He didn't give a fuck, did he? And that's the sort of stuff I like. I like that. That makes it more, if he's your manager, it's great. If he's the opposition manager, it makes you want to go over and fucking strangle him. Get over. It's just I like the pantomime, the villain, the fucking get up and go. You know what I mean? And so Klopp, people always bang on about Klopp, but I can't help but think they just fucking like him because he's one of us, which I'm basically that made him just fucking nuts and passionate. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure there's a lot more to him than that. But I do like that in my manager. And then you've got Gerard Houllier, bless him. He didn't really kick off, did he, or do anything at the side of the pitch. I always think about Jed when he had that heart problem when he was in hospital, and he got Tomo to sneak him a radio, little pocket radio, so he could listen to us and that. And he'd it in his bed and that. At death's door, but he wanted radio so he could see how Liverpool were getting on. Come on, people like that are legendary, Before that, obviously, Roy Evans, who was a bit more, come on lads, you could see the coach in him, couldn't you? He was brilliant. I loved Roy. And then obviously before that, the King, which was when I started supporting Liverpool. Really, Dalglish was the manager. I was a Ben, and I can't go back to the other managers. I wouldn't be able to tell you what Fagan, Paisley, Shankly were like at the side of the pitch, because when they show documentaries or historical programs, they don't really show that, do they? They don't really show that. So maybe the older Reds out there, if there is any, would know. Or maybe people that are just more knowledgeable than me that have read up on these things. I don't know what they were like. I could imagine Shankly being like a Roy Evans. Do you know what I mean? I can imagine Fagan being pretty chilled, and Paisley, a bit like Paisley. I can imagine Paisley being a cross between like Roy Evans and Roy Evans and Klopp or something like that, you know, just like, well, no, definitely not, because Klopp's too extreme, isn't he? That's not what I mean. I mean, Roy Evans, like, calm and that, but someone else in there with a bit of that, you know. Yeah, Dalglish I used to like Dalglish as well. He always used to be stood there, didn't he? You know, like, I just fucking, but they all were like that back then, weren't they? The boot room set, when you think about it, yeah. You know, Dalglish, Evans, you know, they all, from when I was a kid, I remember them being, you know, they looked like thinkers at the side of the pitch, you know. And I was lucky that, you know, I grew up with Dalglish, Ronnie Moran, Roy Evans in the dugout. That to me was the boot room for me. Obviously, I know before then there was more, but I wasn't born then. And the game then, you know, was so different to today, and I feel sorry for the young fans that have missed that. And I'm sure that people older than me would say that the game that I watched in the, you know, in the 90s, the late 80s and 90s, was different to what they watched in the 60s and 70s. Obviously, a lot, you know, a lot more physical and aggressive. You know, people with fucking broken necks running around, still playing football and that. You know, there was no fannies then, was there? No one fannying around then. And but you know that period when we had like Barnes and Rush, Aldridge, you know, Dalglish in the team, Beardsley, you know, just McMahon, Hansen, just that period when I was growing up, I feel very fortunate to have experienced that, and I feel a bit for young ones today because it's all like this big commercial game. It's all about money and sponsorship and fucking pink boots, you know, and a lot of players that don't give a fuck, truthfully. But then on the other hand, they've got to see a lot of, you know, fantastic players that the Premier League has, you know, brought in from overseas. You know, the game has been graced with some amazing players from Europe. But I do also think there's a lot of average players that have been imported, and sometimes I just, you know, because it's cheaper, isn't it? You know, than going for, say, an English player or something. I'd like to see a rule brought in where there was like you had to have, you know, more Englishmen in your team, because it would shake things up completely. I'd like to know your thoughts about that. You know, so, you know, maybe if you had to have 5, 6 Englishmen, 7 Englishmen in your team or something, you know, it'd be on the pitch at any one time. It would certainly give a demand to the academies then, wouldn't it, in the lower divisions? And it's a shame that the top clubs want to get greedier and greedier. You know, Liverpool being one of them, trying to squeeze more money out of the TV companies for the big clubs, saying that, you know, we don't need them lower, you know, smaller Premier League clubs. And it's like, well, hang on a fucking minute, you need the opposition as well, you cunt, so you're playing against nobody. So I hate that mentality. You know, there should be more. I'm more about more distribution, and you know, especially for the lower leagues. I mean, it's fucking shit, innit? You know, if you look at some of the players that graced Liverpool, you know, a lot of the best players came from down the divisions. Amazing, and it would be good to get that back. I know I'm fantasising about it, like it's not going to happen. My big hope for the future is that the football bubble, you know, TV bubble bursts. I would love that shit. You know, if these TV companies got round it, you know, round the table and just went, we're not going to fucking pay it. You know, we're not going to do that anymore. You know, unanimous going in, like, all agreed and say, look, I know we're competing against each other, but let's just not go above a certain amount and just do that. But obviously now we've got, you know, there's talking of like Amazon and, was it? I don't think it was Twitter. Was it Amazon and Facebook and, you know, Amazon Prime, is it, or whatever, Facebook? I don't think Netflix were mentioned there, but they're, you know, something like that. Twitter, all these like other alternative companies now talking about going for the rights for the Premier League and stuff, which for most of you guys that are watching this is going to be fine because, you know, you're young and I mean, maybe not too old like me, but you know, even if you're at I'm only 43, fuck's sake, I'm not fucking 80, like I'll live to 80, but you know, you're fortunate that you will be a bit tech savvy, so you know how to get your Amazon Prime or your Netflix, you know, whether you're doing it legally or not. So, you know, you're all right, but I always feel a bit sorry for pensioners and that, mate. Do you know what I mean? That won't have a fucking clue. You know, but whenever I talk about pensioners, people tend to, put me down and shut me up, and I'm like, fuck off, they've got more money than us. You know, and I'm like, no, that's not right. You know, maybe the ones that are a bit, you know, out of poverty might have a lot more, tens of thousands stashed in bank, but I can assure you where I'm from, the town I'm from back home, the pensioners there, well, there is actually some wealthy fuckers, but there's a lot of people that in. And I just can't help think about my granddad, my granddad died in 1986, a long time ago. But he loved his football, and I can't help but think, imagine my granddad going to turn telly on back in 80s and not being able to watch it, and I just think it's a shame, and I know people say, well, you can go to a pub and book in what, but not everyone wants to go to a pub. I wouldn't want to go to a pub and sit round a load of fucking young uns fucking carrying on and showing off and throwing peanuts at each other. They're fucking knobheads, you know what I mean? So it depends on what pub you go to, I guess, but I sometimes I feel a bit sorry for them, but that's the way of the world, isn't it? So I just feel fortunate that I had that, I did see football when it was good and fun. We talk about international football a lot on here, saying how, how fucking miserable and boring it is. And actually, I thought about this the other day. It's England that's done that to me. And it's a bit silly for me just to decide that international football is a turn-off for everyone, because it's not. I saw, I can't remember who it was now, but I saw a team that I think had never qualified for the World Cup before, qualified the other day. And I can't remember who it was, guys. I think they denied America, I'm not sure. USA. And just seeing their fans celebrate and the players, how much it meant to them off the grid. I'll be fucking championing them at the World Cup, whoever they are. I'll remember. But I watched a video of it. In fact, I retweeted the video. If you're on my Twitter at Duncan Oldham, I retweeted it saying this is what international football should be about, like, and the passion that they showed compared to, say, like the England players. And that's, going back to fucking years, and that includes the likes of Steven Gerrard. I don't think he ever fucking really performed for England. Although there was a time when they all linked up, didn't they? When we beat Germany, 5-1 was it? In Germany, Michael Owen hat-trick, Emilesky, Steven Gerrard, and all the Liverpool players scored a goal. And I've got in the other room in there, still waiting for it to be framed. That's how long it takes me to get stuff done. 16 years later, I've still got the pictures, the 5 goal scorers, and the scoreboard. They all signed it for me. It was Vegard Eggum, the Liverpool defender, did it for me, because I was close to Vegard when he was at Liverpool. And I got the prints and gave them to him, and he took them into Melwood, and he got, Owen signed each one of his goals, Gerrard, Esky and all that. And they're in an envelope in the other room. That's if no one's stolen them. Probably worth a fortune or something. But I've never got a chance. Everything takes forever in my life with KopTalk. It's such you sit here all fucking day before you know the day's gone, and that's it. 16 fucking years gone. And they're still in an envelope waiting for me to take them to be framed. So that's why I never reply to emails. That's why when you message me, it takes me forever to get round to contacting you back. That's why I've been writing a book about the sim all fucking time, So it was a good time. England were brilliant on that night in particular. I had £100 on Michael Owen that night to score a hat-trick against Germany at 66-1. So it'll be a night that I'll always remember. And I had my daughter with me, Charlotte. She would probably have been, I don't know, about 10 at the time. I can't remember. And maybe not even that. No, I think she'd have been younger than 10, because I remember holding her hand and running around the pub with her when the fucking 3rd goal went in. And she didn't understand it. But it's amazing how many friends I had that night when you win like £7,000, just close to £7,000. Everyone wanted a drink. They all suddenly became my friends, But it was a good, that's the time when Liverpool players did the business, as in England in general. 96, the Euros then were brilliant, the Venables and that. But I've never really enjoyed England since, really, other than that occasion I was telling you about, because they always get your hopes up and you get sucked into and all that. It's just fucking brilliant, isn't it? And it's like a good thing, because it brings the country together, and the motorways are empty when there's a big game on, and it's nice. It's one of the rare times that the fucking country gets together and aren't killing each other and stabbing each other in the back and battling like fuck, and it's like, it's nice. I like that. I like it when everyone comes together. But they always seem to bottle it and they never look like they're fucking trying, And then I moved to Spain, And I moved to Spain about 10 years ago. Even I can't remember that. And like the Spanish, the way that Spain played, it was like they were playing for the people. They won all them tournaments, the World Cup, the fucking Euros, everything. Witnessed it all. So at least they had someone to cheer here, like. But I think maybe it depends. The Welsh might have a different opinion to the World Cup at the moment. The Irish, and all that. See, me, even though I'm an Englishman, right, I'd love to see Scotland, Wales, Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, England, all of the countries and Ireland at the tournament, and I would cheer on Ireland, the Republic, as much as I would my own fucking country. Which I know some people have difficulties understanding that. But that's just some people are fucking just miserable like that, aren't they? You might be Irish and I won't cheer fucking England, I know, but I'd still like you guys to fucking do well, Not against us, like, or if you were playing Scotland or any fucking home nations or anything, them other countries, then, we won't give a fuck, but I just think sometimes, we need to chill out a bit. So, yeah, anyway, there you go. So, Martin O'Neill as Liverpool manager. Yeah, do you remember it? If so, can you remember when it was? What did you think? If you were, around at that time, what did you think? Would you have had him as a manager? And today, this is all hypothetical. I'm not talking about replacing Klopp at all. I'm just, Klopp's not manager. There's a vacancy at Liverpool today. Would Martin O'Neill, would he interest you as a manager, or would you say no? If he was called Martin O'Neill, maybe, is it that sort of thing? So we're talking about that. We're talking about the managers, weren't we? About how, what sort of manager do you like to see in the dugout? Or do you not bothered as long as you're getting the results? Yeah. And then I guess the internationals football maybe isn't so shit for everybody as it is for like an Englishman, because that Gareth Southgate, man, honestly, seriously, I can't believe. I mean, if he, it's so unfair. Is it really necessary? Could you not have stopped the video and edited out that burp? Is it maybe it's unfair to be like, well, Southgate doesn't inspire me. I don't think, should we be writing him off so soon? I can't believe he's England manager, but there we go. So yeah, plenty to talk about. Just wanted to throw a random video up for you. It's 23 minutes long, so that'll appeal. Some of you will be happy, some won't be happy, which is a massive surprise to me. And that's it. That's all I want to talk about. So before we go, Kenny Dalglish in 1991. Management is a 7 days a week job. The intensity of it takes its toll on your health. Some people want to go on forever, and I obviously don't. I was broken when he resigned as manager back then. Back then. Yeah, I was at school. I used to take my Daily Mirror every day to school and read it on, read back page and that. And Dalglish, when he went, man, fucking hell. I got suspended from school a couple of times because of Liverpool. I wish I had still had the letters, because they would make you laugh. Michael Owen. If you ask any of the lads, I think I can have a laugh just like any other 20-year-old. But at certain times, I think you've got to be serious and have your head screwed on. Thanks for that, Mike. Bill Shankly. I want to build a team that's invincible, so that they'll have to send a team from Mars to beat us. See, there's your manager, you see. We're talking about managers. Last one, right. Steve McManaman. After he and Robbie Fowler wore T-shirts supporting the striking Liverpool Dockers during a 1997 European tie with SK Brann of Norway. So this is Steve McManaman. I was given the T-shirt by a friend of my dad's, who was one of the 500 dock workers sacked. I thought I would wear it under my shirt merely as a small statement of support. It is not politics. I am not trying to change people's opinions. It was essentially a fun thing. You tell him, Steve. Fucking tell him that. Right, guys. I'm off. I love you, and I'll speak to you real soon. I hope.